on to 2.13, Chancellor's report.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam President. I think I would, Dr. Johnson, are you prepared to do your president's report, and then we'll move on to the others?
Yes, Chancellor, thank you. So I just want to say good evening to the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Walter, presidents, faculty, classified professional staff, and students. This is my report for this evening. Just want to start off by saying, having spent many months identifying strengths and priorities and reflecting on best practices, gathering evidence, and fashioning the narrative, we're very, very pleased and happy that Merritt College was able to reach the significant milestone of completing the ICER. Understanding the contributions and talents and time that such an undertaking requires, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge those who've been so integral to the process. My faculty and classified accreditation standard leads, thank you for your work. I want to thank the students, the ASMC leadership, recognizing them not only for their input, but for the courage and resolve that they displayed in ensuring that the ICER reflected the student point of view. I want to acknowledge Chancellor Walter, the district administration and staff, and also the Board of Trustees for your collective willingness to support Merritt and provide much needed information and perspective. Finally, I want to thank the members of the Accreditation and ICER Task Force because they engaged in the heavy lifting, and that's my Vice President of Instruction and ALO, Dr. Denise Richardson. She did an amazing job. Dr. Hilary Altman, Dr. Tom Rimbarger, Professor Dan Lawson, Ms. Stephanie Harding, Mr. Shetty Henry, and our principal author of the report, Mr. Neem Tai. Secondly, I just want to say really quickly that we recently learned some really good news that the United States Department of Agriculture grant proposal that we submitted back in September was successful, and we've been recommended for funding. Yes, so the award hasn't been publicly announced. Well, maybe I just did that. Hope I didn't get anybody in trouble, but it's a $500,000 grant over the next 3 years, and the funds will be to support Merritt College's efforts to create apprenticeship opportunities and promote job placement in the growing sector of urban agroecology. So finally, I just want to close my remarks this evening in recognition and celebration of the life of Anita Black. We lost Miss Anita this past Sunday, and to simply say that she will be missed would be an understatement. She began her career at Peralta more than 35 years ago, with her first position being that of District Staff Development Officer. As Jennifer noted, she went on to become a full-time faculty member in the Merritt Business Department before assuming various administrative roles, such as the Dean of the Division of Allied Health and Public Safety, and the Vice President of Instruction. In fact, she chaired the committee that hired me as her successor. But most recently, she was the driving force behind the ascendancy of Merritt's cybersecurity program, and the success of that program that has garnered thus far can be attributed, I think, directly to her industry partnerships that she forged and her tenacious advocacy on behalf of faculty and students. She also made tremendous contributions in the areas of community service and community building. Some of you may know that she was a proud and active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and others of you are aware of her tireless efforts to lead and sustain PAW, which is the Peralta Association of African American Affairs. Anita was the conscience of that organization. She was its standard bearer, and she was the kin keeper. So at Merritt, we're planning a celebration of life program for Professor Black, and I'll be sure to keep everyone apprised of when that is. But I'm also sure that in the coming days and weeks, people will continue to come forward with their praise and tributes for Anita Black. We're going to recount stories of her willingness to push for the things in which she believed, her way of letting you know that she didn't play, and how her strong and statuesque presence never obscured her big heart and bright smile. So in closing, I feel blessed. I really feel blessed to have had the opportunity, the chance to speak with her this past Thursday, 3 days before she passed away. So in concluding my remarks this evening, I will say to all of you what I said to her that morning, which is, Miss Anita, you are loved and appreciated.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. And we all hold Anita in our hearts, in our memories, and we look forward to hearing from you about celebrations and other opportunities to honor her legacy with Peralta. Okay. Let's see, Dr. Garcia, would you like to provide a report for Berkeley City College?
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Good evening, President Napolia Bellaris, members of the Board of Trustees, my colleagues, community members. I am thrilled that it is a new year. I hope, like many of you, we are bidding farewell to 2020 and looking for new opportunities in this new academic year, new calendar year. In addition to the board report that was provided in your packet, I just wanted to highlight a few items. Like my colleague Dr. Johnson at Merritt College, we're also excited to share the submission of our institutional self-evaluation report. This has become a college labor of love and has been a phenomenal exercise in governance and collegiality, in acknowledging the great work that we have done, and also acknowledging the work that still is continued and yet to be done. So with the ICER completion, the team is rather large and rather deep, but I do want to take a moment to thank my Vice President of Instruction, Cooney Hay, who also served as the ALO, Dr. Charlotte Lee, who was the faculty ALO, and Dr. Pumi Sayavang, senior researcher. There are many more folks that are behind those layers, but I know that these three individuals spent a great deal of time ensuring that we were able to represent the highest quality of work and the best representation of who we are as a college and this district. I'm also happy to report that we had a successful visit with our team for the special report that was submitted in November. So the visiting team was with Berkeley City College, along with sister colleges throughout the district, in mid-December 16th and 17th. And we had I think, a very positive outcome to that visit, affirmed for the work that had been done by the colleges in the district, and looking forward to additional follow-up in the January meeting with the ACCJC Commission meeting. Also, like some of my sister colleges, Berkeley City College was recognized as part of the CVC OEI, the Online Education Initiative Consortium, in this next iteration. So we're preparing the final documentation to bring for board support at the next board meeting, but giving a little bit of information of work to come. And lastly, I just really want to take a moment and thank the spirit of just the community. It has been an adventurous start to an academic year, and to see the ways in which faculty have taken instruction fully or in a hybrid online, the way that classified professionals have taken the deep ways and the caring ways in which they support students in an online environment, the way that the administration has pulled through to support all of these efforts. I wanted to share that it takes all of us to support students in their success and in the community. And I truly believe that Berkeley City College, in collaboration with the other colleges across the district and colleagues at the district office, the vice chancellors, the chancellor's cabinet team, I'm just feeling really refueled and renewed for the work that is to come ahead. And with that, I will conclude Berkeley City College President's Report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Garcia. Dr. Jones, I would like to call on you next, and you'll never, ever be giving your first board report again. So you want to revel in this moment.
Well,
Good evening, President Reese, trustees, Chancellor Walter, meeting attendees. Thank you very much. I am delighted to be making this report this evening. What I'd like to do first is to share a little bit about our virtual 50th anniversary celebration. Can you stop sharing the report if you don't mind? My notes are behind it and I can't see them with there. Thank you. Okay, so on December the 1st, the College of Alameda had its virtual 50th anniversary gala. It was a wonderful event that celebrated and recognized outstanding work at the college and its impact on the community over the past 50 years. More than 170 students, faculty, staff, administrators, and community members participated in this momentous celebration. The gala included heartwarming student testimonials and special guest presentation by Alameda Mayor Ashcroft, Chancellor Walters, and Trustee Wilthrow, as well as Executive Director of Alameda Alliance for Health, Scott Coffin, among many others. Most notably, the gala raised over $10,000 for student scholarship and emergency grants. I would like to sincerely thank and recognize all of those who planned, organized, and participated in and donated to the College of Alameda's 50th anniversary gala. We so very much appreciate your contribution to this momentous event. Next, I'd like to speak a little bit about the College of Alameda's Guided Pathways Meta Major team, which included students, faculty, and the 2021 Guided Pathway lead team engaged in very productive clustering activity that proposed a group of college disciplines in a number of meta major with identified areas of commonality. The team will continue their good work through the remainder of the academic year in support of implementing guided pathways at our college. Future team meeting dates are February the 26th, March the 26th, and April 23rd. These meetings will be held at noon. Next, in support of advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, College of Alameda Umoja community adopted the 1619 project as a focusing point in many of its classes this academic year. Our faculty brainstormed and integrated themes from the project reading list into their courses. Class participated in porch talks, or community conversations pertaining to selected themes. These conversations were directed, guided, and/or organic. These community brave spaces are places where students can share their truth and where scholars can convene diverging ideas and build community. The discussions dealt with relevant topics such as police brutality, disproportionate poverty, healthcare inequity, mass incarceration, among others. In spring, the Umoja community will continue to offer the campus these opportunities to engage in porch talks on a continued diverse array of topics in order to facilitate discussion, learning, and examination. The Umoja community at College of Alameda is dedicated to promoting student success and learning and building a truly inclusive community in a creative, culturally responsive, and accessible manner. The College of Alameda's Certified Nursing Assistant Program has garnered positive press coverage following the launching of the program. NBC Bay News channel recently featured interviews about the program, um, interviewing Dean of Career and Workforce Development, Eva Jennings, as well as Director of the program, Genevieve Dace. In addition, several publications also featured news about the new program, including Care Magazine and the Alameda Patch. The program will help meet the workforce demand in healthcare at a time when such assistance is greatly needed. Like my sister colleges, we also completed our ICER, and we hosted the visiting team for our special report. I will make a more detailed report on those items in my report on January the 19th, but I would like to take the time to recognize and to thank my colleagues for their tremendous hard work in accomplishing those two significant bodies of work. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. And last but not least, of course, is Dr. Besikof, Dr. Rudy Besikof, President of Laney College.
Good evening and Happy New Year, Chancellor Walter, members of the board, and colleagues in education. I'd like to start off this evening, like my fellow presidents, by thanking and appreciating all of those at Laney who contributed to the successful completion of both our special report for the ACCJC, as well as our institutional self-evaluation report for the Accrediting Commission as well. Certainly want to thank Dr. Alfred Konoa for his months of service as our acting Dean of Math and Sciences, as well as our ALO, and also our Faculty Accreditation Coordinator, Chris Weidenbach, and certainly our staff assistant, Karen Telligan, who really kind of kept us all in our lanes and moving with things. But more than that, to the many colleagues at Laney who contributed to what is truly a collective document. Also, like Dr. Garcia, I'm so excited to share the news that Laney College was accepted into the CVC OEI Consortium, and certainly remember the praise or the advocacy and the efforts of Professor Chelsea Cohen, our distance education coordinator, as well as Professor Inger Stark, who played no small part in those efforts. And I think that's something to certainly celebrate. My report continues this evening also with an update on food distribution at Laney, which continues on Mondays and Wednesdays in January. We are anticipating distributing a total of 1,200 meals for this month, along with 270 boxes of produce each week. Our ongoing thanks continues to the World Central Kitchen and Mr. Jose Corona for the continued support of our students. As you'll see in your report, the art department presented its first online virtual exhibition, which showcases work from fall semester 2020 by our great students. These students were enrolled in 2 classes, drawing and composition and 2D visual design, which work to help students develop their skills in design, drawing, and compositional foundations. This exhibition is really a testament to the resilience of our students and our faculty, and the creative expression they have shown despite having to study under these unprecedented conditions. Within the report this evening, you will find a link to the exhibit. And then finally, especially as we enter spring semester and focus on this being a time of completion and student success and getting people on stage at graduation, be it a virtual one or one in person, I've included 2 profiles of Laney College alumni who've done great things through our culinary arts department. The first is former student and alumnus Annabelle Goodrich, who opened Cocoa Breeze Restaurant and Catering. It's on 2370 High Street in Oakland in August of this year, and like adapting to the times, it has curbside pickup. This restaurant, run by Miss Goodrich and her daughter, specializes in vegan desserts, high nutrient drinks with superfoods, and those also with adaptogens. Certainly, if you read your board report, you will hear about the story she told and the great role that Laney College played For her, as a student who was a single mother with 3 children under 10 and someone who was working nights, and just so appreciated the support that the faculty gave to her. Also featured in the board report this evening is the work of Laney graduate and language studies major Sidoni Brown, who recently launched a YouTube channel, Food Dots, which features Japanese cuisine. This channel makes use of animated characters that are popular overseas and presents cooking advice, not just in English, but in multiple languages. And this is thanks to her knowledge of traditional cuisine and presentation based on her 11 years living in Japan. And again, if you read your report this evening, you will see that she discusses the role Laney College played, specifically stating that Laney College gave me an avenue when others would give up on people of color. They prepared me for this moment, using her words from this great graduate from the class of 1995. The video itself has received over 16,000 views since it went live in November, and is something that I encourage you to see. And then finally, in closing this evening, I just want to give a shout out to COA for their celebration of the 50th anniversary. I was fortunate enough to attend. And also would like to extend my condolences to the Merritt College and the Peralta community for the passing of Professor Anita Black. During my time as Vice President of Instruction, I was fortunate that she was a fellow VPI as well, among the many roles she played. And certainly as someone who was new to Laney and new to Peralta, I learned a great deal from her. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, President Besikof. Madam President, would it be the pleasure of the board to ask any questions of the presidents?
Members, trustees, do we have any questions for the presidents? Oh, I believe I do see a few hands. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was my own hand. No. Are there any comments from any of the trustees or questions?
Like Trustee Jenkins and Gonzalez-Yuen have their hands up.
Thank you. Trustee Jenkins first, and then Gonzalez-Yuen.
So just wanted to say congratulations to Merritt College for getting the grant. Excited about the work that they're going to be doing.
I don't know, Chancellor, at what point we'll get an enrollment update and whether it's appropriate to ask that at this time or whether you want to wait, Chancellor.
I don't, I'm sure, certainly you may ask any question you would like regarding enrollment, but
if it's timely, if it's not timely, we could wait until our next meeting.
Yeah, yes, that would probably be better.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Okay, I believe we have no more questions from the trustees. So Chancellor, I'll bring it back to you.
Well, Madam President, Vice President Gonzalez-Yuen, trustees, fellow colleagues, presidents, members of our community, and all of those who I have not named formally, welcome to 2021. I believe we're turning a corner, a very welcome corner in our history, and I'm looking forward to being a part of that as we move forward. And I do feel like it's a new year, and I hope that we can move that energy with us as we go forward. I don't have a very long report as usual. I just wanted to bring up a couple of points. One of them is to, yes, really shout on the mountaintops the extreme work that we all did in both the November special report and the ICER. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean the presidents, the VPIs, and district administrators to make those reports stellar. They were turned in on time. They were reviewed. Some folks were driving to Novato, dropping things off to make sure there were no glitches or anything. You know, we burned the midnight oil, we stayed up, we did all sorts of things, and we had a very successful virtual site visit with the visiting team. So really, really feel good about that. We are scheduled to go and present really with the commission here next week, actually, 10 days, less than 10 days, and talk about, how great Peralta is, how great our colleges are, and we intend to leave a mark, a positive mark at that meeting. So feel really good about that and want to thank everyone who was involved in that effort. It was humongous. And as part of that, we also submitted our so-called progress report to the state chancellor's office. And we were instructed that that's something that we needed to do by December 31st. And we did do that. And that report included all of our progress on our FICMAT implementation, talking about our audit findings and what we're doing there. Let the Board of Governors know the progress we've made. And so we submitted that on time, and we're very proud of it. The next Board of Governors meeting, thank you so much for mentioning that earlier. President Laney, I'm old, so it's hard for me sometimes to pull up a file in my mind. But the next Board of Governors meeting, I checked the website today. I believe it is January the 19th. It's the day after MLK. And I will be there because apparently at the last meeting, that was when they were going to be bringing up a conversation about Peralta. So I do support all the efforts that we have done here at Peralta, and I think we got this. So please plan to attend that if that meets your schedule. I think I also want to just briefly touch on two other matters. And one of them, of course, is our COVID-19 situation. As you've probably heard in the news, things are pretty dire in terms of the infection rate, especially in our communities. And we've had a regional stay-at-home order that was issued on December 3rd. And then we had a supplemental limited stay-at-home order, and then another order. And where we find ourselves right now is that we're basically at a stay-at-home order until the regional stay-at-home order has terminated in all regions of California. So we have a lot of decisions to make before us. And we are in that purple tier. You've heard the news about the capacity of our ICU being, around 5%. We've heard all of the gory details about morgues and turning people away from hospitals, things of that nature. And we know that some of our colleagues in different districts are suffering even more than we are here. So in order for us to make some timely decisions about how we want to move forward, we've initiated a Chancellor's Task Force on Decision-Making in Public Health Emergencies so that we can quickly respond to these changing conditions in this pandemic, which we are now believing is going to continue for some time. So we're hoping that the task force will be operational by middle of January. And we'll be calling on participation from governance and collective bargaining groups to meet and determine the best course of actions possible for us to remain safe and healthy, and to make decisions in these quick turnaround periods and involving the board in those decisions as we go forward. The task force will remain in effect until the pandemic is over. And I want to thank people in advance for agreeing to participate on that task force. And we will be looking at all kinds of decisions that are, impacting us. The other thing that I would like to bring out is our safety plan. And I know that this is weighing heavily on many of our minds as far as how it's going, what do we need, what are we doing, and I want to let everyone know that we are on track to implement the safety plan. And at the same time, before I even go any further, I want to acknowledge the Alameda County Sheriff and what they've done for our district over the course of history, and to also note that this is a milestone for our district to make this transition. So we are going to be sending communications to our constituents, to the community, letting everyone know what is happening, what the plans are, what the processes are, and how we're going to implement different aspects of this plan. And so you'll begin to see communications coming out on a regular basis. As part of this process as well, we're going to be including participatory governance groups, standing committees coming to you, providing information, providing you opportunities to ask questions, and for us to really embrace this new era for Peralta. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. You'll probably see a communication coming out tomorrow. We're looking to communicate with you every week. And I'm personally working with our staff and our administrators to ensure that the safety plan moves forward in a way that, in the way that the board envisioned it back in, well, many years ago, because this is the culmination of something that's been in the works. So with that, I would like to conclude my remarks and return it to you, President Reese, and maybe answer questions if there are any.
Chancellor, trustees, are there any questions for the Chancellor at this point? None? Okay, I think we're good, Chancellor. We are now at 2.14, update on the status of the search for the permanent chancellor.